Hello, everybody listening to the Fairweather Podcast. Your boy 2K Suave. I'm here with Alex Rodriguez. And we brought back a special guest, Miss Ruth.
Run it back.
Baby Ruth. What other nicknames did you have? I mean, you had like a million nicknames, what you said last time.
The list goes on and on.
Welcome back. How you doing?
I'm doing well. A lot of exciting things happening in the off season. So I'm really excited to have some conversations with you guys about the free agency and all the new signings that we're seeing. And yeah, it's a really exciting time.
This is a great time to be a fan of sports because it's March Madness. The lockout ended with baseball. NFL free agency is insane right after the combine. We get into the thick of things with the NBA as we get closer to the playoffs. It's like,
right, Kyrie just dropped 60 last night. Yeah. I don't understand why they didn't let him play like 30 more seconds to get the NBA season high over Karl Anthony-Towns, who scored 60 the night before. So that was confusing.
Just getting to 60 was good enough for him.
I think that's a new career record for him.
Yeah, because he had 57 when he was with LeBron a couple of years ago. I was watching that game against San Antonio. So I think it was just nice for him to get, because that was the first time I've seen him smile in a long time. Like he was legit like in a good mood. I was like, all right, this makes me happy. I know A-Rod is not really fond of Kyrie. I've always been like, let the kid live. He's misunderstood, but that's all. A-Rod has too much hate in his heart.
I don't have any hate in my heart for Kyrie. Stop with that negativity.
We got clips and footage. I can pull up.
I walk a different path than then. Okay, I just don't like Kyrie. I don't like him as a player. He's not a team player, because when it comes down to it, when the playoffs come in, and if this mandate is still there and you can't play in the playoffs, whose fault is it now?
I know. I feel like he's trying to distract us with his, creativity on the court. But at the end of the day, come playoff time, if they find themselves in a 7-game series and game 7 is not is at home, then it all just goes down the tube. So as much as greatness that he is, I mean, people cannot not think about the mandate when they talk about Kyrie. So it's kind of just another distraction when it comes to Kyrie.
They'll eventually lift that mandate. Like, if he has to drop 100 tomorrow, then he'll do it. But like, they're eventually gonna be like, all right, we gotta do something about this. That's just how I feel.
Word on the street is the mayor's a Knicks fan, so that's coming down, man.
That's the most petty shit I've ever seen. If that's the case, shame on him, man. Shame on him.
Oh man. All right. Well, thank you for coming back on the show, Ruth. Really appreciate you having you back. So topics for today, episode 60. We're getting really close to 100. This is getting fun. We're just going to talk about the NFL season, open dialogue, Tom Brady returns, free agency, all the trades that have been going on in the last couple hours. So much crazy things have been happening.
Tom Brady return?
Yeah.
The amount of shit that's happened this week, I already forgot about Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. It was like, oh, he's back. Well, we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, like
these guys behind me are making.
I told y'all it was going to happen. I thought for a different team, but I told y'all it was going to happen.
I bet you that was still going on, but I guarantee you, like San Francisco was like, we want 20 years of first round picks, and the Bucks were like, nah.
There was a lot of conversation on whether or not he was going to be signing with the San Francisco 49ers to end off with his childhood team that he admired and Joe Montana and all that kind of noise. But I think once that door was shut, he realized that he should just come back and be a Buccaneer and try to win another chip.
Who shut the door though? You know who shut the door? It was Jason Light and the Glazers and all of them. They're like, we're not, because he's still under contract. Like, we're not letting you go there. We're not gonna let you go to San Francisco. We're like, come on now. Yeah. So they took him to that Manchester United game, and they probably got him a private jet. Just like I said about Von Miller, they probably gave him stock in the team. He's probably part owner of the Bucks now. They were like, there's no way we're letting you go to San Francisco. And he's all right, fine, whatever. I guess I'll come back. Year 23, I guess, whatever.
All right, we're gonna talk about the NBA season once again. Open dialogue. Giving LeBron some flowers and letting the Lakers know they suck. MVP race, the 50 and 60 point games that have been scored. And we'll just talk about all the good teams that are out there. Brooklyn making a hot surge, Golden State, Phoenix, all of that. We'll talk about the MLB lockout and the lift there. So we'll just discuss baseball very, very brief, since KK never likes to let me talk about baseball, and it's my favorite sport. So
we'll dive deeper.
Touch on it. Because there's so many. You want to talk about football signs, a lot of big baseball movement too. But But because KK won't let me talk about it, and I'm locked in my closet over here, we won't talk that much in
We
baseball.
only have so much airtime. We can't be on for 4. Because if we talk about everything, we'll be on for 4 hours. So we'll dive deeper next week. I promise, guys. I promise. Next week.
The lies and the lying liars that tell them. Go buy KK's book, by the way. Anyway, fun segment we got tonight. We're gonna do 2 truths, so we can call it 2 Ruths and a lie. So Ruth, we're gonna put you on the spot. I picked 3 different topics. One being the Dallas Cowboys, and then 2 I got kind of personal on. KK was like, "Don't get personal," but it's not super personal. Okay, just 2 people that you know, 2 people that are near and dear in your heart. We're gonna test you on how well you know their sporting careers in Tyronn Lue and Mr. Martin Gramatica. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
I didn't do any like detective work, nothing crazy. Everything literally was off of Wikipedia. It was all there for me to find. So
Wikipedia is not the most accurate.
Not the most accurate, so they say.
But I checked it out with some other things. So they line up. Everything lines up. So
I'm excited. It's about to be a good episode. Episode 60. After Kyrie just dropped 60, let's run it.
Hey, I like
A-Rod's favorite player. Look at that. We did this for you, A-Rod.
Get KK's book. Okay. Anyways, NFL offseason has been very, very crazy. I mean, today just alone, it all started off with Aaron Rodgers signing, and then Russell Wilson saying, let me get that in limelight for a second. QB carousel, Joe Buck, Aikman moving to Monday Night Football. All these players moving. Von Miller just signing, getting a private jet and stocking the Bills and all this.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And then the cherry on top that lasted for a day, but it's still going on in Tampa Bay. Tom Brady is returning. So a lot
not to mention everything that's coming with the Deshaun Watson situation, because when we last aired, he hadn't gone to court yet. That happened on Friday, and then he has no criminal charges. And all of a sudden, he's taking, trips with teams. It's a lot. It's a lot. And whatever decision he makes is going to make a huge impact, because Atlanta's like, look, Matt Ryan, we already told him we're going to send him. Baker Mayfield's writing letters.
You said he wasn't going to go. And you said he wasn't going to go. You make me look like dumb up here all the time. Matt Ryan.
Bro,
yeah.
If they can get Deshaun Watson, of course he's going to go. But that's who was the other option outside of Matt Ryan? I mean, outside of Deshaun Watson. Was that ever even brought up before?
I feel like Atlanta, if they really wanted to place Matt Ryan, they would have made a move with their fourth overall pick in the draft last season, but instead they decided to go in the direction of Kyle Pitts. So, I mean, that spoke volume of how comfortable they are with Matty Ice at helm. So, but I mean, Deshaun Watson would always be an improvement when it comes to Matt Ryan and Deshaun Watson. I think that speaks for itself.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only reason why they told him, look, we don't want to get rid of you, but if Deshaun Watson is available, we got to take a look at that. So
let's not forget Baker Mayfield saying his goodbyes to Cleveland too. So there's another hot.
Was that saying his goodbyes? I'll let you guys know what I really feel about Baker Mayfield and his IG social media post to thank the Cleveland fan base. We'll get to that though.
Well, first, what do you think about Baker Mayfield, the player?
I think Baker has had a drastic fall off in the last season. We saw his shoulder get separated and he hurt his labrum, whatever, in the throwing arm. I think he should have decided to get the surgery when he got hurt to not put so much bad juju on him. I mean, with OBJ walking out as well, and then Jarvis Landry just got released, one of his wide receiver weapons right there. So I'm very surprised that Baker is being as, I guess, nice as he is on social media, and that he's not trying to like burn down the franchise at this point. But him as a player, I would always love his collegiate, what he did while he was playing in college, Heisman Trophy winner and everything. But I think it's been a very hard transition for him in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, he is kind of undersized. More commercials and wins.
Well, he's way too many commercials. That's A-Rod's favorite line, and it's true. Like at this point, it's not even like a joke anymore. It's actually a fact that he does more commercials than winning. And I think I don't know if that's affected his game, but like his like, you know how they say, oh, he can make every throw. Every quarterback can make every throw. That's why they're in the NFL. But he can make those throws in like sporadically. He's not consistent. He turns the ball over too much. He's a crybaby. He doesn't hold himself accountable enough. He's always finger blaming and pointing. So that's always been my issue with him as an NFL player. And you saw some of these traits in college. Like, yes, in college, that kind of stuff works because you got to be edgy in college. You got to, you're trying to boost up your draft stock. You're trying to get people to notice you. He was a walk-on at Texas Tech, and he was a walk-on at Oklahoma. So I understand why he is the way he is. But when you're playing for a professional team, I don't think. And what I read, I think Chris Mortensen said it. Cleveland, the reason why he's basically a lame duck quarterback because Cleveland wants an adult at quarterback, and that to me was the biggest indictment of the character of Baker Mayfield because he might have the talent, but you're leading grown men. When you're the quarterback of an NFL franchise, you're basically part of like the CEO, president. You basically help running the company.
You're in the room in the boardroom meeting, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not an adult, and I think it's starting to catch up with him. I wouldn't say he's a Johnny Manziel kind of kid, like kind of that immature, but he has his limitations, and it is time for him to get a fresh start. On the other note, though, it is Cleveland. Cleveland is a horrible franchise to start off your career. Like it's just.
And he's had 4 different head coaches since the start of his NFL career. So that's all tough in its own. I mean, you're going to an organization that came from a 0-win season, and then you gave him some type of relevance. But I mean, you don't get to choose who you get drafted to when you're first overall. I mean, do you think Trevor Lawrence wanted to end up a Jacksonville Jaguar? Absolutely not.
Now he does. They picked up everybody.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely pulled out some stocks to make some improvement on that offensive line, which is something that Doug Peterson, as the head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, when they won the Super Bowl, he knows that you need to have a great offensive line, and then you also need those edge rushers, those defensive tackles that are going to put pressure on the ball on the opposing quarterback. So I think Doug Peterson is in a good position in Jacksonville. But alluding back to Baker Mayfield, I think that he's going to have another chance, another opportunity with a different franchise. I don't think it's going to be Cleveland next season. He could say all the excuses in the world, but it's going to come back down to his athleticism and talent, and he's going to have no more excuses after he leaves Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that surgery does something for him. I don't know what it'll do, but
yeah. Going back to that, like his character spoke to me day one when he got in the locker room, and I remember Duke Johnson was like frustrated with his role that he paid all his dues in Cleveland, did all the things that he did there, and then Baker Mayfield was just like tearing him down, like saying, if this guy doesn't want to be here, then he doesn't have to be here. Dude, you're the first guy they just drafted. I get it, you're trying to take the helm, but this guy has been through hell in Cleveland and paid his dues, and you're breaking up. Even the team was like, dude, don't come for Duke. Duke's been here like in the trenches. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, granted, Duke is now in Miami and getting the things done in Miami, but I mean, at the end of the day, like you just said, I mean, that's what I was going to say, is that it's been reported that they want someone that's an adult to run this franchise. And Cleveland, it's a tough organization. I mean, how many quarterbacks have they had? How many first rounders? How many like promised guys have they had? We all seen the meme of the guy with the jersey of every name on the back of it, trying to facilitate the role as a franchise quarterback. And in my personal opinion, I just think Cleveland kind of like set him up for failure in a way too. Because like, I mean, yeah, you gave him a great defense. Granted, some people got hurt. You gave him a good offense. But I mean, 4 head coaches, like you said, in his tenure, that's a lot. Then you're like,
I could combat that though. The team that he had last year and this year, if you gave him a competent quarterback, they would have been in the playoffs easily. Like last year, they made the playoffs, but this
you made a big signing in an Austin Hooper, thinking that was going to save your team on offense. And what did you just do today? You released him. Whoop-de-doo. That was a waste of our time. You went and got Njoku. Then, like you said, you were going to trade Njoku because you get Hooper. Now you franchise tag him. So this guy's in limbo, not knowing what he wants. You get OBJ. You don't use OBJ. You don't have rapport with the guy. You let this nagging pain go on throughout the year, which is bringing it into the locker room too. And then you got Deuce, who's just like torn in between the two. Like, I want to play football. This is my friend, blah, blah, blah. And now look where Juice is. He's on the way out now. It's just a lot of moving parts that are just very, very strange. In Cleveland, you're a running football team. Just run the ball with Chubb. and you're
Yeah,
fine.
I think the Bengals have kind of taken over as that team in Ohio, but it's just sad because I feel like Baker's had a lot of opportunities to show that he is an elite quarterback when it comes down to those last minute plays, those, the pressure. And it seems like he always kind of falls short. We saw it against Kansas City when Patrick Mahomes was out of the game and they had their backup quarterback in the playoffs. And it was it was his time to shine. That was your time to knock out Kansas City, and you fell short. I mean, we saw that in the regular season in 2020 as well, when he went back and forth with Lamar Jackson, fell short once again, throwing those last minute interceptions that really just kill the whole momentum. There's been a lot of moments where Baker could have been elite and he's fallen short. So I understand why he gets all the bad criticism that he does get.
You have to get that though as a quarterback. Like that's on you at the end of the day. That's no matter if you're the shittiest quarterback or you're the best quarterback, when you lose, you got to be the guy that comes up there and says, I this is my loss. I'm taking the loss here. So
yeah.
And it doesn't, I don't see that out of him. I see a lot of immature answers all the time. I see a lot of like open-ended answers. I see a lot of like, basically, I don't want to be here, but I'm here because I was the first overall pick. So fresh start, in my opinion, will be good. Do you think he becomes part of the package for Deshaun Watson, or do you see him just going somewhere else?
I see him going somewhere else. I don't know if the Cleveland Browns are going to be able to pull off that trade to obtain Deshaun Watson. I would love to see Baker come to the NFC, get out of all that that young competition at the QB position in the AFC. Come over here to the NFC and try to make some noise. I mean, I know the Saints are looking for a quarterback. I feel like that would be a great fit for him in New Orleans. I know that they just got a new head coach, and Michael Thomas, their wide receiver, is kind of in and out, not really sure what's going on with him. But I think Baker needs a fresh start, and I think the NFC would be a good start for him.
That's actually a good point. He really, because at this point now where he's at in his career, if you just look at the AFC, no matter how well he plays next year, the Browns would still be the 10th best team in the AFC. Like the AFC is stupid loaded right now. So for his sake, absolutely, I'd say go to Seattle. They're rebuilding anyway. Like
Seattle and
get out of the limelight altogether.
Yeah,
but I don't think
Seattle and Indianapolis are linked to him currently. Apparently,
I don't think Deshaun Watson wants to go to Cleveland for real. Like he needs to look at his options honestly. Like look, if I go to the NFC, all I have to deal with is old ass Tom Brady, who's eventually going to retire in the next 5 years. The Rams are falling apart. I don't know who's coming back anymore. Sean McVay should have took that ESPN job because Von Miller's gone. The second corner is gone. OBJ is going to be out for probably half the season. We don't know what's going on with Aaron Donald. They just lost Whitworth. So the Rams are not going to be as good next year. The 49ers, they're okay. They're good, but we don't know what quarterback they're going to have next year. And then in the Packers, and then that's it. Like, if you go to the NFC, all you got to do, and then Cowboys, we're going to get to your Cowboys because they needed to get another pass rusher, right? And Gregory was like, cool, I'll sign. And then they put some stuff in the contract. He's like, no, I'm straight. So he went to the Broncos.
Fuck them is what he said.
So I was like, what other pass rusher can the Broncos get? Because the Cowboys get. At this point, Chandler Jones was still available. He's in Las Vegas. Von Miller was still available. He's in Buffalo. Zadarius Smith was available. He's in Baltimore. There's no more pass rushers left. So I don't know how good the Cowboys are going to be next year. They got rid of Amari Cooper. Cedric Wilson is gone. So I don't really know how good the Cowboys are going to be. So if I'm Deshaun Watson, I'm looking at the NFC next year. I'm like, yo, there's so much other options out here right now. So if I'm him, I come to Philly. I think Philly's been very quiet these last couple of we signed what's his name from the Panthers, right? Hassan Reddick. And we haven't done anything since then. So in my opinion, we got 3 first-round picks this year. We got 3 this year, all in the teams. Yeah. And we got a first-round pick next year. I'm like, look, come to Philly, get a fresh start. We come to a city that forgave Michael Vick. If we can forgive Michael Vick, we'll forgive you as well, Deshaun. Come on down.
City of brotherly love.
I think whoever ends up with Desean Watson is going to have to be ready for the criticism that they're going to face with their fan base. There's going to be a lot of unhappy people about that move. I know that he's been acquitted or whatever the circumstances are, that he's not going to be legally charged or whatnot, but that's still like 22 accusations is a lot. And the formality of the whole legal process might have worked in his favor, but I just think that it's going to be a constant cloud that's going to be following him around. And he's just, it's going to be hard for him to come out of this because, I mean, we've been talking about this for over a year now. I mean, when's the last time we saw him fling the pigskin? Is he going to still play at that elite level? Who knows? But whatever organization takes him on is going to have their hands full.
You know, the problem with the NFL, well, not even NFL, just professional sports in general, if you can play, everyone forgives everything.
Yeah.
I mean, no one talks about Ben Roethlisberger and his issues that he had. I mean, he was accused and charged with, you know, his misconduct with, you know, with women. Ezekiel Elliott, your boy, I mean, he got in trouble. Jameis Winston wasn't throwing that many interceptions. Nobody cared about that no more. Like, at the end of the day, if you can play, no one talks about your off the field issues. If you can't play, then that's all they talk about. Oh, he's always high. He's always drunk. He did this. He did that. Michael Vick was public enemy number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then he had an MVP-like season, and everyone stopped talking about it. Like, Peter, and then he joined the Humane Society. Like, there's ways to clean up your image, trust me. And at the end of the day, I need to really look at this case. You know, there's a lot that needs to be unpacked because we still don't even know what really happened. You know, it's 22 is a lot. So
apparently the wording that he used, like he just asked these women if they did happy endings.
Yes,
he didn't go into specifics.
That's what I heard.
He just used the term happy endings. And I guess that wasn't enough to actually make his case legit. And they were just kind of like, well, if that's the wording that he used, there's not really much that we could do with that. So I think the jury kind of sided with, we don't really have enough here to ruin this guy's life, to ruin this guy's career. So it's time to move on.
That's what I heard. I told Aaron this. I'm like, I don't know if I don't think he actually physically assaulted anybody or anything like that, but he's probably a little too horny and needs to, you know, take a cold shower every now and then. To me, that's he needs that kind of help. I don't think he's a criminal.
Have you guys seen a photo of his girlfriend?
I have not.
What? Okay. Look up Desean Watson girlfriend. I can't think of her name right now, but she's like she came out with a cookbook. She does modeling on the side. She's a fitness model. She has like over 2 million followers on Instagram. Like, she is probably one of, hands down, the top 10 women, gorgeous women I've ever seen. So, and she's still rocking by his side too. So I'm glad that he has the support. I could see the faces. I'm guessing that you guys are finding these photos. Hey,
that means she must believe him.
Yeah,
because she can get anybody she wants.
Anybody she wants.
I want to just believe that he's not this guy that people, because I really love Deshaun Watson coming out of college.
Absolutely. Beating Alabama with that crazy play at the end. I was there in Tampa when all that went down.
Because he got beat up that game too. I remember he was just getting knocked around, and then he found a way to make it happen. And ever since then, I'm like, this kid is tough. I know, like, his upbringing was not great and all that stuff. I just have to believe that he's a better human being than what these 22 women probably put him out to be. Like, yes, he was probably inappropriate in his wording, but unfortunately, I've seen worse in the NFL, and all they served was 4 games suspension, and they won Super Bowls in doing that. So
it's sad but true. I mean, as long as your athleticism talks louder than your misconduct, then it kind of just gets swept under the rug. I mean, what was the running back for? Was it the Kansas City Chiefs? No, I think he played for the Browns that he got into. Yeah, Kareem Hunt. With that whole situation that they played over and over and over and over again. And I think he spent maybe 1 season not playing, and then he came back to play for the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm not mistaken.
Vice versa. He got cut by Kansas City. The Browns picked him up, and then he was allowed to play. I think he got suspended for like 8 games, something like that. But
right. So we see situations unfold like that left and right, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, money talks at the end of the day, and the NFL is such an entity all on its own that, I mean, these owners can make anything disappear, which is with the right amount of money.
Also, and I didn't want to talk about Desean Watson this long, but I feel like the timing of when everything happened, he had no character issues whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But then when he asked him, he said he didn't want to come back to Houston. He asked to be traded. All the stuff out of the blue came out. So I had just a weird feeling that the owner, who is known to be racist and known to do all this stuff, I just had a feeling that the owner put all these women to like, look, yeah, you come out and say this, right? Because there was probably, I feel like it probably must have happened a couple of times where it was known, but for them to find 22 people, man, this has to be, to me, it was a setup from the start.
Yeah.
Again, I can't speak for these women. I have no place. It's International Women's Month and all that stuff. Like, I can't speak for them, but I just felt like something was a little off and fishy about it.
Yeah.
I still want to hear the whole story, and then you can kind of cast a judgment after that. But I don't think he's a bad human being though.
And wasn't the attorney that was like pushing for these women to come forward? Wasn't he like really good friends with the owner of the Houston Texans as well? Yeah. So there's a lot of super connecting pieces there that kind of are a little bit of head scratchers. We don't really know what's really, really going on. We just know what the media tells us, but we don't really know what's going on behind closed doors. And maybe Desean Watson thought the same, that no one's going to know what's happened behind closed doors. But being a woman and being in an industry where it's male dominated, we do get put in situations that we shouldn't be getting put into. I mean, there's some verbiage that, these professional guys try to use to kind of get around certain things. And it's all, at the end of the day, it's all inappropriate, but it relies a lot on how the women, how they react to it, and how, they set their stance, and they don't laugh or giggle or think it's funny. But you just got to let these guys know, like, straight up, like, that's not how this is going to work. You're a professional. I'm a professional. Treat me as such. And let's just get the job done.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else, A-Rod? You want to talk about Deshaun real quick?
Y'all can talk. I'm good. I agree with everything you said. So there's nothing to point into that. So
yeah.
All right. Speaking of quarterbacks, let's just. I didn't feel like talking about him at all. I didn't think he was really retired. I knew he was coming back. So to me, it was a story, but not really a story. But what was your first? I think you posted something on IG or something when Tom Brady came back. What was your initial reaction when Tom Brady returned?
I told you so. I went on live right away on my Instagram. I let everybody know, everything that I've been preaching the past couple of weeks on my Tom Gronkowski show every Wednesday night at 9. I told everybody, an Instagram post doesn't mean anything. You remember what they say? Social media is all just a mirage. That's not really real life. Yep. I think Tom Brady was trying to get the media off his back to let him enjoy the off season, to really decompress and kind of make his decision from there. So I think that was just his way of kind of shutting us up for the time being, so he could have his peace of mind and not have somebody badgering him 24/7 about whether or not he was going to make the decision to retire. But I mean, he was laying those breadcrumb pieces along the way the whole entire time. He was on a podcast saying, "Oh, never say never." He was discussing how Giselle and his family was super supportive of whatever decision that he made. And then you see him on the field with Cristiano Ronaldo, another GOAT in his respected sport. I actually asked Tom, are you really going to retire? And then Brady kind of just shrugs his shoulders, really unsure. But at the end of the day, 23 years is outstanding, is unthinkable when it comes to professional football. But when you're playing at the elite level that you are, throwing for over 5,000 yards, leading the league in passes, leading the league in touchdowns, leading the league in any category from week 1 throughout the whole entire 17 game regular season, it's just hard to walk away from that. And I think it was a hard pill to swallow for them to lose that game at home to the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, they were coming back from I believe it was 20-3 at halftime.
28. Well, at one point it was 28 to
yeah,
27,
it was almost 28. But then he fumbled the ball at the 2-yard line, and the Bucs really got lucky. But I just think that Brady just kind of realized that I'm not done yet. Like he said in his post, like one of these days I'll be watching from the stands, but that time isn't now. So I'm ready to get back on the field. And who knows, there's a lot of conversation about whether or not he was going to make a move to San Francisco, whether he was testing the waters to see if any other team was going to make an effort to try to obtain him. But I think it's safe to say that coming back to the Bucs organization where he already had so much success in such a short period of time was a great move for the GOAT. And now I'm just waiting for, Rob to come on board. And then we got to sign Leonard Fournette or Ronald Jones, one or the other. I'd rather Lenny Fortuttis to be re-signed, and we'll see where it takes us from there. But everybody here in Tampa is super excited. Nobody was burning the jerseys yet because they knew they had an inkling that the GOAT was not ready to retire.
I just want to say, I remember for like the last month and change, everyone's just so sad and maybe
depressed.
We'll get Russell. Oh, never mind. Maybe we'll get Kyler Murray. Oh, he put the Cardinals back on his page. Oh, what about Jameis? Oh, what about? I'm like, all right, here we go.
That's how you know the conversation was getting real bad when they were talking about obtaining Jameis Winston back on their roster. I was like, hold up, guys.
The real Bucs fans are back. And then he made that announcement. I'm like, here we go. And all the ones that were hiding behind the little rocks came right back on, pumping their chest out, posting, he's back. Let's go.
Because he brings us automatic relevance once again. I mean, we're talking about going back to not even being a playoff contender. So, I mean, in an uncompetitive NFC South, we need the GOAT to come back to bring us some relevance and to try to get a Super Bowl one more time, because now they got a taste of it. In the recent years, winning a Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, I think they're out for more blood.
We'll see. But my only thing is, he's gonna come back. The NFC is weak, so they're probably gonna be right back in the mix of things again. I had another point, but I completely forgot. Damn it! But either way,
it'll come back to you.
It'll come back to my head. But I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things. They whatever deals that the Patriots, that the Bucs make, I feel like they all need to be investigated by like ethics committee and OSHA and stuff, because they're stealing Shaq Mason from the Patriots for a 5th round pick. They're getting Russell Gage for nothing. It's like, I'm like, bro, how are they pulling off all these moves? I don't know. 1 second they're in cap hell, the next second they're signing everybody right back.
I mean, they have Cameron Brate and Shaquille Barrett who are renegotiating their contracts to free up some cap space as well. So it's just a very unselfless Buccaneers team. And they saw that when people are as unselfish and they spread the money around, that's how you win championships. So I think they're just all on board with that mentality. And I think Brady got a taste of being at home with the kids, and he said,
"Nah, I'm straight.
F them kids. Like, I'm ready to go back to work."
Fuck them kids, man. Yeah, man, stay fucking retired. I'm over this dude, bro. Like, I can't do this anymore. I really can't deal with it anymore. Like,
you remember your point?
I remember my point. Well, go ahead, A-Rod. I was gonna say, A-Rod, first of all, before I get to my point, you as a Jets fan, I know it's tough. You still have to deal with this man. The Jets like meme their own self. You saw that? Yeah.
Like, is this true? I guess not.
I guess not.
Like, it is what it is, man. Like, the guy's a true competitor. He's the master of his craft. He's the best at what he does. I appreciate his game. I just hate seeing him. I hate his face. I hate when he touches a football. He's brought me pain 20 years of my life, and now I have to see him play in my city. So I will say, though, I've warmed up to Tom Brady being in Tampa. I like the Tom Brady in Tampa. I can appreciate that. But still, it's just like, it's I don't know. It's like Putin being like, "Hey guys, I'm really not that bad of a guy, you know." But it is what it is.
Did you just compare Tom Brady?
Yeah, I did compare him to Putin. It's my show. I can say what I want. He's like,
bro, you've lost it. You've absolutely lost it. You are unhinged.
I'm happy for Bucs fans, but hey, man, once he's done, just get ready to go back under your rocks again. I was truly happy seeing the dust settle and seeing those true fans come out, and then seeing those idiots that are like, we're going to get Kyler Murray and we're also going to get Desean Watson. He'll be his backup. And I'm like, no, bro, like, let's be real here. OBJ's coming. We're going to get this guy. Derrick Henry's gonna leave. Like, what are you talking about? What are these?
Desperation makes you think of desperate things.
I will say,
I root for this team. I root for this team. There's desperation. We signed Jordan Whitehead, and my friend was like, "That's a good signing for you." No, it's not. No, it's not. Jordan Whitehead doesn't change my team because you're a Bucs fan, and we signed a Buccaneers player who had an awful secondary. So we took one of your awful secondaries to be in another awful secondary,
and lost Marcus May in the meantime.
Exactly, and we lose Marcus May to who? The Saints. So
the Saints.
Enjoy seeing them, Buccaneers fans.
So I remember my point now. So I was watching, every time they talk about this Tom Brady, I'm like, yo, what more does he have to prove? What more does he have to prove? Like, I just don't get it, right? I was watching the shot with LeBron James, his most recent one, and they were asking, like, what's his motivation to keep playing? He's like, because I'm still good. Like, why wouldn't I keep playing? And I get it. I'm like, if you are still good at something and no one's forcing you to leave, then there really is no point to leave. Like, at the end of the day, for people who want their teams to win, we would love to see these guys leave. But when it comes down to it, if you're obsessed with the craft, a sport and trade, and there's no reason for you to leave, and you're still the best or one of the best at doing it, I can't be mad at him for wanting to come back, because at the end of the day, he did lead the league in every statistical category last year. So, except for he had the most interceptions. That was it. Well, between him and Aaron Rodgers, comparing the two. But outside of that, I mean, damn. I mean, he's still a top 3 quarterback in the top 5. We'll see. Out of the active players at his age, if I had one, now I'll probably still take Tom Brady. I mean, you got Mahomes, you got what's his name with Buffalo, Josh Allen. You got Joe Burrow. But I still got to take Tom Brady over all these.
All right, let's not run through it. Tom Brady literally pulled their pants down and spanked them in all statistical categories last season. So
at 44 years old.
At 44. So it's like, at the end of the day, if you still got it, you still got it, bro.
I'm still hurt that he didn't win MVP, because I know Aaron Rodgers, yeah, you're a bad man, I get it, but I feel like Tom Brady deserved that MVP reward, and I think that probably was a little bit of a chisel on that decision to come back, to unretire, to kind of show the league why he's still, why they call him the GOAT.
My biggest fear is, though, because I literally saw this happen with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, first 2 seasons in Denver, played fantastic football, led the league in every statistical category, did this, that, and the third, went to the Super Bowl, got blown out by the Seahawks, blase. Then his last season, the injury started happening, and he fell off of a cliff, like he swan dived, to the point in which they started Brock Osweiler over him in regular season games. And in that Super Bowl that he won, he was terrible. Who won that game? Von Miller won that game for him. So I don't Tom Brady takes care of his body too much for me to see that happening. But if he falls off of a cliff, I don't want to remember him as this guy that fell off of a cliff. Like, you want to remember somebody going like Michael Jordan. People act like Washington didn't happen, but Washington happened. People, like, theoretically, 98 hit the game winner over Byron Russell. That's how you want to end your career, not come back to Washington and not make the playoffs and look like you smoke cigars all day. Like, that's not the last impression. And so,
Michael Jordan was also the GM too, so he could do what he wanted. He wanted to play.
He drafted Kwame Brown.
Exactly. just to bully him and get him back in Charlotte and bully him some more.
Bully him.
So if history repeats itself, Tom Brady has won a Super Bowl, lost in the playoffs, and then gone on to win a Super Bowl again. Yeah. So Bucs fans, let me ring your bell a little bit.
This might be the year.
Could be your year again.
I do think the Super Bowl champions coming out of the AFC this year, though. Like, whoever makes it through that gauntlet deserves to win the Super Bowl, in my opinion, because you're going to have to go through some tough-ass teams. I mean, we haven't even talked about all the other signings. I mean, I'm trying to think who else looks good out of the AFC. Buffalo.
Let's transition.
Yeah.
Let's transition to signings, okay? Because we can sit here and break down every quarterback in the NFL. So let's take this more to home. Since we wanted to talk about Ruth and her Cowboys. How do you feel about our team's free agent signings thus far and or trades?
I'm hoping that the Dallas Cowboys could make some moves that are actually going to improve us on the offensive side of the ball. I think it was a really big slap in the face that Randy Gregory decided to go to Denver after making the verbal commitment to Jerry Jones, but I don't really know what happened with the details of his contract, that he didn't agree with the language that was being used, or they were maybe trying to pull a quick one on him. Not really sure, but
I can tell you why.
Go ahead and tell me why then.
Basically, because he's had like legal issues in the past and been suspended and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They said no matter what money was guaranteed to him, if he does get in trouble, they're allowed to go get some of that guaranteed money back. So like he can play, I think it was a 3-year deal. Let's say he played 2 years, nothing happened, right? And in year 3, he has like a drug suspension and gets suspended or something, right? They would, through that contract, be legally allowed to take some of that already guaranteed money back and recoup it from him. So he was like,
Denver said weed's legal over here, baby.
Yeah. Hey, we'll talk. You can do all the shrooms and weed you want to do here in Denver. So.
Yeah, everything under the sun.
Yeah. So
well, I'm hoping that it works out for him. I really do. I mean, I'm not bitter about the situation. You go get your money, go do what you got to do. I mean, I'm a little disappointed that he didn't decide to stay, because that's going to be a big shoes to fill. But I mean, Jerry Jones is a smart guy. He's a businessman. He's going to do what's best for the team. And we still have this upcoming draft and plenty of time before the season kicks off. So I'm hoping that we could find that defensive lineman or that defensive that rusher that's going to take his place. But that was a hard pill to swallow. Amari Cooper also leaving to sign with the Cleveland Browns. That was a big shaking my head moment, because I thought for sure that we were going to have Amari locked in. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen with Michael Gallup, since he faced that injury towards the end of the season, but it seems like we're going to be signing him to a long-term deal. Yeah. And now with Amari gone, this is going to be CeeDee Lamb's time to shine. He wants all the catches. He wants all the looks. So this is his time to be wide receiver 1. But I'm just hoping that in this draft that we focus mainly on defense. We saw that the Dallas Cowboys had probably one of the most significant changes or 180s in one season defensively with Dan Quinn at helm. So I'm hoping that they can, stack up on that side of the roster and just be a force coming into next season. I mean, we're still in the NFC least, guys. So it's not like we got to try too hard. We just have to be better than, the Giants and better than the Philadelphia Eagles, which I don't think is going to be too hard of an assignment coming into next season.
What about the Commanders? You got no respect for Carson Wentz? That
Carson Wentz signing was very questionable. Is he better than Tyler Heineke? Maybe. I think Tyler Heineke had his time to shine last season. He kind of fell short. But I think he was dealing with that shoulder injury that he had dealt with when he faced the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that playoff, when he actually gave a run for their money. So Carson Wentz leaving Indianapolis, I was a little surprised. I thought the Colts were all bought into Carson with Frank Wright, making that pull and putting so much on the line to obtain Carson. So I was really surprised. But I don't think the guy's going to look good in red. That's all I got to say.
No, you're right. Absolutely not. Go ahead.
Go ahead, KK.
No. Go ahead. I was going to talk shit about Carson Wentz, but I'm not going to do it. So go ahead.
I was going to say the Cowboys losing Connor Williams and trying to trade Lennell Collins too is going to be a big effect to them as well on the O-line. So
yeah. And that is something that we had to definitely make some improvements on, because I don't think Dak Prescott had consistent help or consistent protection, and that's why he turned the ball over as many times as he did. And I think that's another big reason of why Zeke Elliott and his offensive execution on the field is definitely taken a downfall as well. So I think there's got to be a lot of key pieces that are going to fall into place. I mean, Tyron Smith is getting up there in age. Zach Martin should have retired 2 years ago. There's a lot of old veterans that are going to be leaving soon that Jerry Jones is going to have to figure out how to replace.
That's why I said I don't know how I feel about the Cowboys right now.
I don't know either. I'm very confused. That's why I'm just riding so high on Tom Brady coming back to the Bay, and that's what I'm really looking forward to next season.
What made the Cowboys so effective on both sides offensively? Look, when Dak Prescott gets that hike, he can hand it off to Zeke. He can hand it off to Tony Pollard. Now Zeke, I don't think he even cares about football no more. And the Cowboys won't cut him, won't trade him, won't do nothing. So he's taking away carries from Tony Pollard, who deserves the rock at this point.
Yeah.
Now when he looks to pass, he sees CeeDee Lamb, and then at least that became his primary target. But they don't even have a good rapport, the two of them. Like he misses CeeDee Lamb a lot. Then they get rid of they get rid of Amari Cooper to Cleveland. Michael Gallup was coming back from a bad injury, and they get rid of Cedric Wilson, another person that at least knows the offense. So I don't know where they're going with what they're trying to do. This is what happens when you pay Dak Prescott all that damn money. You pay Zeke all that damn money. You pay Amari Cooper all that damn money. You pay DeMarcus Lawrence all that. Like, you paying so many, all that offensive line to get paid so much money. Like, they're very top heavy. So to me, they might flop next year. Like, and I'm not even trying to be as a hater. It's something that's not smelling right. However, at the end of the day, for you Cowboy fans out there, you have Michael Parsons, and that's all you need to know. So, like,
number 11,
as long as and that's my favorite number too, number 11.
Yeah, mine too.
It's depressing that the guy that's going to be killing my quarterback for the next 10 years is wearing my favorite number. But anyway, as long as you have Michael Parsons, all things are possible. So, that's the most I want to talk about the Cowboys. Let me talk about.
I will say this. If they don't have a winning season, I really think that Mike McCarthy is going to be on the hot seat by the end of next season, and I wouldn't be surprised if they switch him out for Dan Quinn.
You do know, I feel like they're setting him up for failure on purpose.
I do. I said the same exact thing. I said getting rid of Amari Cooper, losing Cedric Wilson, losing all these pieces on defense. Like, I don't think Jerry Jones is rallying for Mike McCarthy right now, because he's not putting him in the best position to win.
It's a hit job. They want Sean Payton. Dan Quinn, they can talk all of that beautiful stuff about Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is the second.
I want Sean Payton too.
They want Sean Payton. Sean Payton needs to go find a job with Amazon doing Thursday Night Football. They're gonna pay him $20 million a year. That's what he needs to do. Outside of that, if he wants a job with the Cowboys, I feel like on purpose they're sabotaging Mike McCarthy so that they go 8-9 next year. Yeah. And here comes good old Sean Payton to come save the day. That's what I think. I'm scared that's gonna happen. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, because he was already on the coaching staff for the Cowboys back in the day as an assistant. He already has experience. He has a great relationship with Jerry Jones. They hang out, every once in a while. So they know each other really well. And I think that he could be that voice that tells Jerry, like, hey, you stay in your office and let me handle the offense and let me handle the team. So I think Sean Payton would make a great fit, but who knows? He's getting to that age where he might just be sliding into retirement and just kind of enjoying some time off, but it would be great to have him in Dallas.
Makes me sick. Anyway, Philly, we like I said, we got Hassan Reddick, but I feel like we've been quiet. Like I said earlier, I think. And
you guys re-signed, what was it, Greg Ward as well?
Yeah, Greg Ward. It doesn't mean nothing to me. We re-signed Greg Ward. We let Alex Singleton go. Herbring, whatever, offensive lineman, we tendered him so that we can keep him. We might trade away Fletcher Cox at some point because he's old and diminishing returns now.
I think that would be a mistake. I think Fletcher Cox is, man, that guy could talk. He really intimidates the opposing O-line, and I think he's a really great voice on that defensive side of the ball.
I agree, but I know how Howie Roseman thinks. I heavily doubt that we're going to hold on to Fletcher Cox. I really do think we're going to trade him, probably for like a 4th or 5th round pick. It's like Zach Ertz. I never thought we would trade away Zach Ertz last year. But
that was a huge surprise.
So, like, for me, I know how he thinks, and I would not be surprised if they get rid of Fletcher Cox next. With that being said, I'm pitching all my wagons to Desean Watson. If he doesn't come through, then the problem that I have, I wish I didn't like Jalen Hurts so much. Like, I wish he was just a horrible human being. So I feel like it would make this decision a lot easier for the Philadelphia Eagles. I feel like the locker room loves Jalen Hurts. The coaching staff loves him. The team, like the upper staff loves him. The fans love him. He's such a good guy, a good dude. Like, to me, he's what Dak Prescott, why people love Dak so much is his leadership, his intangibles. I feel like Jalen Hurts has that times like 10. And I feel like that's what's going to make it so hard for us to go after somebody who has 22 civil cases against them. It's like, you go from Jalen Hurts to you're basically going from God to the devil. That's what it feels like. So it's like, oh man. So I get it why it's been tough, but at the end of the day, in order to win a Super Bowl in the NFL, you need to have that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously Tom Brady's that guy. Dak, is he that guy? I don't know. A-Rod, your situation.
He was that guy. I mean, I think I'm still kind of flying high on that 2016 season where he won
is not
11 straight games in a row with Ezekiel Elliott, both rookies, just tearing up the league. And I don't know. I still have hope that we still have that Dak inside. I mean, we got to remember the way that he came back after injury in week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He lit it up in Raymond James Stadium. I was very, very, very proud to be a Dallas Cowboys fan that day, rocking my jersey and supporting the Dallas Cowboys, because they definitely gave the GOAT and the whole safeties, cornerbacks, all of them a run for their money. And we saw CeeDee Lamb also be elite. So that was awesome to see. I still have high hopes that the old Dak is still in there.
We'll see you in the playoffs. He told Tom after that game. All I say about the Cowboys on this one thing, if Mike McCarthy wasn't the head coach, I think they'd be a way, way, way better team. That's all.
Yeah, they would have made it to the Super Bowl last year, I think, with a better coach. I mean, they had last year, to me, was their last chance as they're presently built. In order for them to make it back, that's why they're starting to tear it down right now in our faces. Like, look, this was our year last year.
Yeah.
I don't like. To me, they're gonna kind of rebuild this year. It is still the NFC East, so they'll probably still win the division and get to the playoffs. But it's gonna be kind of like a rebuild year. So that next year they set it up for Sean Payton or Dan Quinn. But Jet fan. I know times are tough up there in New York. You can either be a Giant fan or a Jet fan, and they both suck. So who do you feel better about, the Jets or the Giants?
Well, I don't. You know what's funny is, like, I follow everybody, like a lot of the players on social media, and they're like, everyone's the things we're doing are turning heads. I'm like, what heads are you turning?
Y'all signed Tyler Conklin today.
Who?
Tyler Conklin, the tight end from Minnesota. We had him on our fantasy team that got us to the championship when what's his name got hurt. Noah Fant got hurt.
We didn't even need him, bro.
Hey.
We didn't need him 1 point to score. We also signed CJ whatever from the Bengals, who has a torn ACL. We gave him a 2-year deal. I don't care.
Listen, man, be happy,
nobody.
bro.
There's nobody I'm happy. DJ
did they fire Robert Saleh for the Jets, or is he coming back?
They don't need to fire. He's coming back. They'd be stupid to fire. They need to fire Joe Douglas ass and send him ass back to Philly is what they need to do. I'm over that.
We'll take him back. He helped us win a Super Bowl.
He helped as a pencil pusher. That's all he was doing. What do you need? I got it.
He's pushing pencils.
Exactly. That's the P he's pushing. Dude, since that guy's come, he's just destroyed this franchise. He's ran Sam Darnold out of town. He ran the other GM out of town, obviously.
Sam Darnold's not good. Get over it.
Sam Darnold, when has weapons, is not bad. I'd rather him than
better than Zach Wilson.
Yeah, we don't even know that. Zach Wilson's played 8 games in his career. Come on now.
Zach Wilson is like, he's as tall as like those M&Ms. He's not tall at all, man. Like, he's a tiny dude. With high heels on, he's 6'2".
God, Sam Darnold is not good.
You don't watch my team, okay? You don't watch the misery I've been in.
I'll probably take Baker.
You go to hell for a season. You go to hell for a season, and then the next season, KK is, oh man, the Eagles this and that. Yo, bro, this team is bad. Okay, so if you want to hear my report on my free agency, do better. Okay, do better, because DJ Reed does nothing for me. Okay, what was Seattle's defense last year? Poo poo. Okay,
they weren't that bad.
They were bad. Who else did we get? I'm trying to think on top of my head. There's another defensive player. Oh, Jordan Whitehead. Yay. Woohoo. Bucks fans are probably crying
Super
about
Bowl
that.
champion.
They probably won't remember.
The thing that I have to say about Jordan Whitehead is, yes, he's great at making tackles, but he's not great at getting ahead of the game. Like, just play some defense and avoid the ball coming your way so you don't have to make a tackle. Like, it's just, he kind of, I don't know. He's an okay player. And I think he'll have some success with
him to us. They addressed him as one Super Bowl champion, Jordan Whitehead, with 7 interceptions on the season. If anybody, I'm surprised none of the Buccaneers had double digits, because everyone was throwing their way anyways. And I feel like all Buccaneers DBs know how to do is tackle. Oh, he caught the ball. Now it's time to tackle him, not try and contest anything.
Yep.
The only happiness I had in free agency signing is Tomlinson that we got from the 49ers. I like that signing to beef up the O-line. And Berrios is a good Swiss Army knife if they use him right. I just don't think the Jets will, but I like re-signing him. So other than that, it's been a poo-poo off season for us, and that's why the good old background is there with me. So
man, you guys, man, you just sound so depressed when you talk about the Jets, man.
dude, because it
makes me sad. It makes me sad.
Hey K, if the Eagles listen to this, if the Eagles came to contracts with DJ Reed, would you be jumping out of your shoes?
Listen,
right now?
I take small victories when I can get them. Okay,
these are no victories, bro. There are no victories here.
It's better that
we haven't had a tight end. We haven't had a tight end since like 2002, bro.
We've signed one player. You've signed 6. We've signed one player. I mean, damn.
Nobody's, bro. We have signed nobody's, and we let Marcus May walk. And when we had him on the franchise tag.
Yeah, that was
nothing I'm happy about. I'm not happy about anything. I don't want to be negative, but if we were to get, like I said, if they signed Miles Jack today, I'd be okay.
I know the Steelers took that. All right, well, let's talk about happy things. Just really quickly, with just looking at all these teams, who do you think has had the best offseason thus far?
The Green Bay Packers re-signing Aaron Rodgers. I think that's probably, I mean, that's been on everybody's mind for the longest time. So I think Aaron Rodgers making his return for the next 4 years. I think the next key piece for them is going to be signing Devontae Adams. I mean, I'm surprised that they haven't got a deal done already. I mean, him, testing the waters to see what type other offers, what other teams are going to try to give him the bag.
Well, they franchise him, so he can't even look anywhere right now.
Oh, they franchise tagged him?
Yeah, but he's not going to play under the franchise tag, he said. So they have to give him a long-term deal before he decides to step on the field. But when you see what Christian Kirk is getting and all these Christian Kirk completely screwed up the whole wide receiver market because he signed with 3 years, $71 million or $72 million.
86, I thought it was.
Whatever it is. Now Chris Godwin's like, bro, I got to get paid more than that. And if they sign Chris Godwin before Devontae gets his deal, Devontae's going to want more than Chris Godwin. He's going to want more than all these guys. So at this point, Devontae is looking at maybe I want like 25, 26 million a year. And when you give $150 million to Aaron Rodgers, that's why I don't think that's a big win yet. To get Aaron Rodgers, cool, fantastic. But what has it gotten to him since their last Super Bowl, playoff appearances? So I'm not 100%, but and then they I don't know how much money they have to spend anymore. Like they gave Homie a big bag, and Devontae Adams is the only option. And MVS is going to be playing elsewhere because he's not coming back to Green Bay. So I don't even know what other options they have. I got to look at the draft situation and kind of just see what kind of draft picks they have. But I don't know. They got to get that Devontae situation figured out. That to me that's a huge piece right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the winners of free agency are definitely the Jaguars, the Bills today, Bucks, and Green Bay. That's all of them right there, man.
I gotta say, if I had to pick one, I'd say Buffalo. I think Buffalo has set themselves up because to me, they could have beaten Kansas City last year. And had they beaten Kansas City last year, I'm pretty confident that Buffalo would have beat Cincinnati last year as well. Again, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. So I think Buffalo's going to be scary next year, personally. And I think that Von Miller signing was like, we're all in. Because when you make big signings like that, like Denver, they won getting Russell Wilson, but they have a lot of work because their division alone is tough. They got to deal with. And then because Russell Wilson got to Denver, everybody in the AFC West bolstered up the defense. Everyone got pass rush now. The Raiders got Chandler Jones. The Chargers got Khalil Mack. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's going to be coming after Russell Wilson now. Meanwhile, in the other division in the AFC East, is Buffalo. The Jets, that's 2 wins a year. No offense. The Patriots, honestly, the Patriots are just not as talented as the Bills. Bill Belichick, as great as he is, he's not with the times anymore. His style of coaching football is archaic. So I don't think it's going to work in today's game. I don't think Mac Jones is going to change anybody's life. I don't think they have talent on the offensive end. So they're not going to be able to keep up with Buffalo. And then Miami, I don't know, like Tua and his new coach, I don't know, it's a cool story and it's cute. They'll probably win 8-9 games again, but they're not going to scare Buffalo. So to me, Buffalo's path in the division that they're in is a lot easier. And when you have Von Miller coming off of a Super Bowl, OJ Howard at $3 million is a steal. You still got Stephon Diggs. I think they're going to draft a receiver. I really do think they're going to go draft a receiver in this draft. I'm seeing like Jameson Williams from Alabama, or if one of these Ohio State kids falls to them, I'm seeing that as well. So I think Buffalo is a team to look out for. And then Jacksonville, obviously, as an Eagles fan, we did the same exact thing 10 years ago when we thought we had this dream team. We went and got Nnamdi Asomugha. We went and got DeMarco Murray. We went and got all these dudes, and we flopped and failed and fell on our face. The only thing that Jacksonville had that we didn't have, they have Trevor Lawrence. So at least they have Trevor Lawrence, and they should be able to make this work. And then Etienne's going to be coming back next year and running back. Christian Kirk is good, but he's not $80 million good, whatever he got paid. The other guys, I mean, they're an okay story, but if I had to say anybody, to me, is Buffalo. I think Buffalo got it next year, like for real.
Yeah, and did they really have a lot of holes to fill? I didn't really think so. I thought Buffalo was pretty stacked as is. So adding somebody like Von Miller, I mean, like I've said before, to win Super Bowls, you need somebody who can throw accurately down the field, and then on the other side of the ball, you need to have that person that applies the pressure on the opposing quarterback. So I think that's a great fit for Von Miller to fit in with the Bills. And I would love to see Josh Allen come out of the AFC, because he's that quarterback that everybody's been rooting for, just because he's freaking talented and we've seen it on the field. And then he just seems like a really stand-up guy. So I would love to see him come out of the AFC, but there is a lot of young competition at the QB position. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is always going to be in that conversation. Now we have Russell Wilson in the AFC as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
What do I always say wins championships besides defense? Veteran leadership. All the Bills boys are in their prime or young. Go get you a stud that's good at what he does, even at his age. So,
but they get that man 5 years. It was $120 million. What was it?
Man deserves it all in my opinion. So
he's like 34 years old.
He's 32. His birthday's at the end of the month. His birthday's on the 26th. He'll be 33.
Oh no. I don't have a problem with it. I'm happy for the guy. Like, I'm just saying, like, damn, they must really want him, right? So in my opinion, that's why I'm like, Buffalo got, like, if they don't win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, somebody's head needs to come off and someone needs to get fired. Like, they have it now. Like, I think they just needed another pass rusher, because they just saw what Patrick Mahomes did to him in 13 seconds. They're like, we cannot have this shit happen no more. So they went and got somebody who could go. Remember, Joe Burrow, if he had an extra second last year, he would have found a wide open Jamar Chase and won that Super Bowl, because Jalen Ramsey fell down and Jamar Chase was down the field wide open. But Aaron Donald got in the backfield, right? Tom Brady, if he just had an extra second, he would have got sacked how many times that Von Miller and Aaron Donald got to him. I think Buffalo just needed a pass rusher. They got the pass rusher. And then that UCF kid, what was it? Gabe Davis?
Gabriel Davis, yeah.
They found somebody. Like, this man, they found somebody. So he's going to be a perfect compliment to Stephon Diggs. They're probably going to let what's his name, Beasley, Cole Beasley walk. They might trade him or let him.
Said that.
Yeah. So to me, they're gonna go just find another person to replace him. Like,
under contract. He's under contract. They said he can seek out a trade.
Exactly. So to me,
on the way out.
They have no weaknesses anymore. That is the team to beat now. To me,
yeah, that's
where I'm at. So
all right. We can sit and talk football all day. We got other topics to talk about. So let's go talk NBA season now.
Sheesh.
I mean, we get to see a lot of good performances lately, a lot of 50-point, 60-point games. LeBron putting his name on the league again, being the only man to do, 30, 10, and 10? Is that what it was?
Not only 30, 10, and 10, 10, 10, and 10. He's the only person to do 10,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. With that being said, he has 30,000 points and counting. Well, 30,700 and something, you know what I'm saying? And 10,000 rebounds and 10,000 assists. And he's playing right now. He's only like a couple like 100 plus points away from Karl Malone for being second all time in scoring. This dude, who's a pass first player, is about to pass Karl Malone second all time. And then by this time next year, he'll pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And at some point, he might hit 40,000 points. And when he gets 40,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists, I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Like, this dude is
It's longevity. I mean, we're talking about 20 seasons in the NBA. Like, it's incredible what he's been able to do. But I mean, the way that he takes care of his body and how he can stay healthy and have consistent production on the court, I think that's been a huge testament to his success in the NBA. And yes, we could call LeBron the GOAT. I mean, I hate these MJ and LeBron comparisons all day long.
I don't want to do that today. I've always been on record. Well, not always. Since 2016, I've said MJ and LeBron are 1A, 1B. I don't care how you slice them. That's 1A and that's 1B, and that's fine with me. That's how I feel. Because it took a while for me to even come to, like, LeBron is my second favorite player of all time after Allen Iverson. And it took a while for me to even call him in a GOAT conversation until that 3-1 comeback. And then I really sat back and I looked. I'm like, damn, he's done so much in his career. Like, even the playoff series that he's lost, he's led both team in every statistical category. Like, this dude is we take him for granted. I was watching an interview that he did when he was 17 years old. Like, we take him for granted. Honestly, we take this dude for granted. And it's depressing to watch this damn Laker team because they are horrible, like horribly constructed. They're getting blown up by 50 points by random, like regular ass teams. I mean, they're letting Toronto boss them around. They're letting Sacramento boss them around. They're letting anybody come to LA, or if they go on the road. They're getting bullied by a bunch of 25-year-olds. Like, and that's what people were saying. This team is too old. Like, LeBron 37, Melo 37, Dwight 37. Who else is there? I mean,
Carmelo Anthony.
I mean, everybody else is. And
didn't they have Isaiah Thomas on like some type of deal?
They gave him a 10-day. Like, they're and Russell Westbrook. Jesus Christ, can we talk about Russell Westbrook? I try so hard not to blame him for them sucking, but he has to be him and Smush Parker got to be the worst Los Angeles Laker players I've ever watched in my life. like they are. And then, what was it? I forgot this other guy's name. Like, Russell Westbrook has been like, he's shooting 9% from 3-point line since the All-Star game. 9%. We're talking about a guard, not a center, not a power forward, a guard shooting 9% from beyond the arc. He's shooting around 60% from the free throw line. A guard. He has the I think it's like the worst the field goal percentage in the paint. I mean, layups. He's missing layups. Everything's going on the top of the backboard. Like, I don't know. And I feel bad for him because now it's mental. It's obviously mental. But he wasn't even my biggest issue with him was that he's always been like this. But we've been so, I mean, averaging a triple-double is not easy to do. So we are so mystified by that we don't look past the fact that this is how he's played his whole career. Kevin Durant didn't want to play with him. James Harden didn't want to play with him anymore. Bradley Beal didn't want to play with him anymore. And now we see why. Now LeBron's like, damn, I get it now. It's hard. Yeah. It's tough. So, and then AD being out doesn't help. It's just street.
So what did that's my question. What do they do with Anthony Davis? Because you guys won a championship. You won a chip with him in 2020, but consistently he hasn't been able to stay healthy. So do you trade him while he still has a lot of value, or do you keep him and you just hope for the best?
The problem that the Lakers have right now is that, let's say LeBron decided to retire tomorrow. They'll let's say he retired tomorrow, right? Next year, they would win 15 games with that roster. Even if AD is playing, that roster is horribly constructed. So
yeah, defensively, they don't have it. I don't know if Frank Vogel's just not, putting in.
He's done after this season. What I would do, and it's tough because he helped win him a championship. I'll trade AD for young players, all role players, but just get young. They need to get young again. Like, they got way too many old guys on 1-year deals and this, that, and the third. During the offseason, I would see who's desperate enough to go take on this trade, because at the end of the day, he plays half a season now, if that, and that's not going to get it done, especially in LA with all that pressure. That's not going to get it done. And I was looking at this picture when they just won the championship a couple years ago, and they had youth, they had they had shooters, they had veteran leadership. Like, it was a good mix. Now
I think getting rid of Alex Caruso was a mistake on their part.
Huge mistake. Caruso. I mean, they got rid of who else?
Caldwell Pope.
They got rid of Kuzma and Caldwell Pope for Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Like that's just not that. They lost shooting and they lost defense in doing that. It's just, and they lost depth in doing that. So to me, and I know people keep saying LeBron is stat chasing now. No, he's not. LeBron is trying not to get blown up by 40 points. That's what he's trying to do. Like, it used to be LeBron doesn't shoot enough. Now he's shooting a lot. Now it's like, oh, why is he not passing enough? Y'all LeBron haters need to get this shit figured out. Like, what are y'all gonna pick on today? Because he used to not shoot enough and now he shoots too much.
I think it's great how he's been able to elevate his game to be a lethal 3-point shooter now. I mean, you're getting to that age where you can't take it down and dominate the paint as much as you used to. So becoming a great shooter, I think is outstanding for at this point of his career. So I'm all for LeBron taking as many shots as he wants.
That's a sign of greatness, though. When you're able to add things to your game this late in your career. Like his post-up game is better. His fadeaway is better. His mid-range game is better. He's shooting 77% from the free throw line now.
If the Lakers were like one in the West, we wouldn't be having a conversation. He'd be definitely the MVP front runner if he had the same. But because they're so bad, everybody wants to look past that. But he's leading his team in every statistical category. It's insane. Mm-hmm. It's insane. And people want to find ways to point their fingers and be, like you said, he's stat chasing. Oh, now he doesn't want to take the last shot, which was stupid. He should have took that layup at the end. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you need your team to play well. Can't rely on LeBron, Daddy LeBron, do it all the time. You need to be able to kick that out, knowing this guy's going to hit that shot wide open, no problem. But I mean, it's just a very, very horribly constructed team. I thought they were going to have a better bounce back second half.
Same.
Like Russell.
Yeah, after the All-Star game, everybody was like, oh, we're going to have, triple double lethal Russell Westbrook return after the All-Star game. And it's been the exact opposite. He's been like 9% from the three and just completely a turnover machine is what I've seen from Russell Westbrook.
Dude is a headache to watch, man, because like KK was saying, like we always would give Russ flowers on this show. We love the way Russ plays, but it's just like, he has to be the focal point of your offense.
Correct.
You can't have two. This isn't like a Hydra. This ain't a three-headed monster that's being constructed here. This is a single-headed person that makes other players better around him, like he did in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
But he's just. You can tell like he wanted to be there. Now he definitely doesn't want to be there. And you've got fans like calling him Westbrook, and then him lashing out at fans and saying that you're tarnishing my name. My kid has to hear this at school. Like it's affecting him down to the family level now. And it's
listen, I've heard people call LeBron LeBum, that. I heard KD, they make fun of KD's hair. They make fun of every NBA player. If he wasn't playing this bad, they wouldn't make fun of him. So like he has to hold that. Like at the end of the day, you're not playing in Oklahoma City where you're protected. You're playing in Los Angeles where they expect not the Clippers, for the Lakers. They expect championship.
You wanted to come home.
Exactly. Like they expect
championship or bust is the Lakers mentality and has been for years now. So when you're playing at that level, when they already know what you're capable of, the fan base is just going to be real angry about that. But it's sad to see how he's kind of kind of clapping back at these fans. And it's almost embarrassing for him. It's more like, just stay quiet and focus on your game and try to make some changes so you can shut these people up.
Seriously, I mean, it seems so simple. And he the other thing, he's lost athleticism as well. Like he'll give you some flashes of great dunks here and there, but the fact that he's not even able to finish at the rim anymore like he used to, that he's definitely lost he's lost athleticism, and that's the problem about a lot of these great players that we grew up loving. And all of a sudden they fall off a cliff. Those are the guys that don't add anything to their game. So like we see John Wall hasn't played basketball in a couple of years. He's 100% healthy now, by the way.
Yeah.
And the Rockets still won't play him. Derrick Rose, as great as he was early on, injuries obviously hampered him. But because of those injuries, he's lost athleticism. So he doesn't really have that anymore. He'll give you 18 points off the bench if you let him, but injuries are going to, like, because he was super athletic, he can't do anything anymore. Like I remember like Vince Carter, he was so great because he was so athletic, but he added the 3-point shot to his game and allowed him to play 22 seasons. You know what I mean? Like as you get older in this league and you start to lose a little bit of that plug that you had, you got to add something. And to stay long in the league in today's NBA, you got to be able to shoot threes. Vince Carter stayed long because he could shoot threes. LeBron is added to his career because he could shoot threes. Michael Jordan started coming out and started hitting being more of a perimeter, like shooting more threes and more fadeaways. Kobe Bryant started shooting more threes. Like, as you get older, you can't jump as high no more. You got to add something. Russ will never have it. I don't think it's in his game. It's just it looks ugly when he shoots. It's just I think he's done. Honestly, I don't foresee him like after this contract. I mean, he's gonna have to opt in next year. It's gonna be $47 million. I don't know who's gonna want to play him at $47 million, but I feel like once that contract is up,
I mean, and he had his opportunity. He played with some all-time greats. He had Kevin Durant and James Harden, Andy Ibaka, I believe, all in the same time in OKC. So I mean, he's played with those superstars. So it's kind of sad to see that he's not able to make this mesh with LeBron. But I mean, I could probably say LeBron had a lot to do with the signing of Russell Westbrook. So I'm wondering how he's feeling about the situation now and what he plans on telling the Lakers organization, what he wants to see be done moving forward.
Dude, we talked about this on the show last time that everybody, like, we went down the list of players that Russ has played with. KD couldn't get it done. Then he went to Harden, couldn't get it done. Then he went to Bradley Beal and couldn't get it done. So LeBron probably looked at it and was like, this is a project I want to take on. I bet you I can get the best out of him. And it obviously isn't working out.
Apparently, though, what I heard was that, Russ wanted to speak. I think AD had a lot more to do with it because him and AD are really cool. And LeBron,
Mr. Glass, man.
And then LeBron signed off on that because Russell had to convince LeBron, like, look, I promise I'll do this, that, and the third. But it's like when you're trying to court somebody and you're trying to, you date them in the dating phase, everything seems all rosy. But once that real relationship starts, it's like, all right, back to my old ways. And Russell Westbrook, he looked good at first, he was calling every day, good night text, good morning calls and everything. But once it got real, he went back to his old ways of, whatever this basketball that he played.
Yeah, but I don't really think that I remember a time seeing Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry.
You're looking at it. You're doing it.
I don't even mean to do it. I don't remember a time seeing Russell like consistently be bad like this. And I know it's obviously a mental game because he can't even shoot anymore. He's airballing left and right. He's turning the ball over. He's doing things really like uncharacteristic. So I don't know if it's the Lakers organization, if it's the toxicity in the locker room. I don't know what it is, but he's just completely off his game. If he doesn't do something to change it now, he's probably going to be headed towards retirement.
Yeah, really quickly, because I just got an update about Desean Watson. Nothing's happened yet, but Mike Flory reported that Desean Watson is incredibly torn between the 4 teams that made presentations to him. So the Browns, the Saints, the Panthers, and the Falcons all have offers out. Decision looks like it's holding. Yeah, so that's what we're waiting on. Is between those 4 teams. I guess he split.
Wait, you said the Browns, the Falcons, the Saints, and the Panthers?
The Panthers, yes.
Okay.
So that's basically the NFC South of the Browns.
Yeah, basically.
And him being from Atlanta, I feel like the Falcons have a huge edge.
Yeah.
But that team is not as good. The Saints, on the other hand, to me, have the better team. But I don't know if he wants to go. I don't know if that's a situation that he wants. The Panthers, he went to Clemson, and that's close to, that's close to home for him. So, college home.
Yeah.
I don't understand the Cleveland thing whatsoever, but the other 3 do kind of make sense. I don't know. It's interesting, but we're not going to harp too much on it, but that is an update that I just got. So I just wanted to make sure I say that. And also Raheem Mostert is now a Dolphin. So some more news.
Some more news developing here on the Fair Weather Podcast.
Fair Weather, we break news over here, but all right. A-Rod, we're going to talk about some high-scoring games. Obviously, we can talk about LeBron dropping 50 twice. But so did...
And weren't those games like back-to-back, basally? Like he had 2 back-to-back?
Home games. Back-to-back home games, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to shout out Townie for saying, Jason Tatum's the only guy to drop 2 50-point games this week.
That was last week. And since then, Kyrie's done it twice. LeBron's got his second one. Cat got 60. people are dropping buckets lately. I don't know what the hell's in the water. They must have changed the basketball back to Spalding or something because buckets are being dropped these last couple of weeks. So I want you to first, because I made you apologize to a few people on this show. You don't have to necessarily apologize to Kyrie, but can you give him his flowers, please? Can you give him his flowers, please?
Oh, I never said I would never give him flowers.
No, don't give him flowers. Give him the shot, A-Rod. Give him the shot. That's what he really needs.
Give him the shot. But I've never had anything against Kyrie's game. When he comes out there and he's like, the earth is flat. And then when they have scientists that tell him that, he's like, I never said that. And now I'm about to fast for Ramadan next month. And he tells me he's Muslim. Oh, come on, man. That's my kin right there.
Hey, man, you gotta love your brother, bro.
I'm gonna be watching him, seeing if he's eating, if he's fasting, if he's not. So
he does. I want to, man. That's next month.
You pray like this, or you pray like this. How y'all do it? Like,
you gotta have some love for Kyrie. Look, Kyrie, man, what he did, he could have dropped 80. He could have dropped 80. Could have dropped 80. That's how he could have, though, if he wanted to. He could have.
He didn't, but he didn't.
All right. Out of all these performances, which one was the most impressive to you?
Probably Karl Anthony-Towns scoring 60. I think that was the most impressive. We kind of anticipate LeBron having those 50 point games. I think he's gotten to the point where he's so frustrated that he's being that ball hog and he's being the facilitator because he's not depending on anybody else to step up because we're already almost a whole way through the season and no one's been able to stand up or step up in that place for LeBron. So I think that's an easy one. And then Kyrie, he was playing the Orlando Magic, but at the end of the day, when we see these 60 points, the last thing that we think about is, but there's one shot that he's not taking. And that's just always going to be his downfall this whole season.
Yeah, man. 7 for 11 from the 3 from a big man's pretty freaking impressive.
Hey,
so I got to give Cat
and he won the 3-point contest.
I'm about to say that 3-point winning contest, that was not a fluke.
Cat is riding a wave, and I'm happy with Cat balling. It makes me happy because he's gone through a lot. So to see him get that and be very humble about it, it's super cool. Kyrie, like. I expect stuff like that from Kyrie.
KD had 50 points this week too.
Yeah, I mean, I expect
the Lakers are actually playing the Timberwolves right now as we speak. The Lakers 17, Timberwolves 24. A minute left in the first quarter.
Yeah, I got it. Every time you see me look down, is because I'm looking at the game. Just so y'all know.
My Clippers are playing the Raptors tonight. That'll be a good matchup. The Celtics and the Golden State Warriors playing in the Bay. That's a great matchup. Chicago and the Utah Jazz. That'll be a good game as well. And right now we have the Phoenix Suns taking on the Rockets, and they're up by 6 in the second quarter.
It should be up by 60.
So yeah, right?
Let's touch on
Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks are playing. They're playing in Brooklyn. So obviously Kyrie's not playing. 59-58 with 1 minute left in the second quarter. I think I feel bad for the Brooklyn Nets that they have 13 games left and only 2 home or 2 away games.
Yeah,
so there's only going to be a lot. Yeah, they're going to be home a lot in this last stretch for the Brooklyn Nets, and they're fighting for a play-in position right now. So not
I'm hoping in the best predicament. They hold on to that AC so they play Miami in the first round and not Philly, because I didn't even talk about it last week. We got ran off the floor. When Kyrie and KD are on the floor, I just want to say this real quick about Brooklyn. I don't see a team in the NBA, maybe Phoenix and Golden State. Outside of those two, if Kyrie and Kevin Durant are allowed to play the full series together, I don't see a team in the NBA that can stop Brooklyn. That Seth Curry, and I told A-Rod when we lost. I told you too when we lost Seth Curry. I was like, damn. This is gonna be what does us in, because he's that important. Like Seth Curry, he's so damn good. Like when he's open, he's gonna make it, right? And they have Patty Mills, and they have Goran Dragic with Kyrie.
I think that was low key one of the best signings that they got. Dragic off of the Miami Heat. I mean that
they got him off of Toronto. Because Toronto. I think Toronto released him, and they were like, "Cool, we'll pick him right up." And the funny thing about it was that the Lakers were rumored to go get Goran Dragic, but the Lakers don't do nothing smart.
He said, I ain't gonna be here.
If the Lakers don't do nothing smart, they can't get it. So it's just, I look at Brooklyn. I mean, and that Philly game, and I told my only issue I had with James Harden, when the rubber needs to meet the road and the lights are too bright, he folds. And I've seen it in Houston when they should have beat Golden State back in 2018. I've just seen it too many times with him, and I'm like, when they played against Miami Heat, the NBA Finals, when he was still a young buck. The fact that series was in Miami was the reason why Miami beat him in 5. Because when the games were in Miami, James Harden wasn't at practice. I mean, this has actually been like proven. James Harden wasn't going to practice and shoot around. James Harden was going to the strip clubs in Miami in the middle of an NBA Finals series. Like, he's not Dennis Rodman. He doesn't got that kind of switch in him. Because even after he got blown out by Brooklyn, he was at the club with Lil Baby and
Travis Scott. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not mad, but
what are you celebrating? You just lost by 30. Like,
I'm not mad, but I'm not mad, but I'm disappointed.
He passed Reggie Miller though, bro. He passed Reggie Miller on most threes made.
Man,
he did. So congratulations on that. But to look back to that Seth Curry comment that you made, I think that was a real big blow for the 76ers to trade off Seth Curry, because not only do you have that player that's going to be lethal and not be afraid to shoot the 3 and damn good at it. I mean, he's not far behind his brother, but he also plays defense as well. And that's something that's underestimated in the NBA right now, is having a 3-point shooter that's also going to get back and play tough defense.
Yeah, it's rough out here. Cause like the last time I felt this bad about losing somebody was when we lost JJ Redick. And I know that sounds silly, but JJ Redick was the same exact kind of player. Give him a little bit of open space, and bang, bang. That's what it was. So, like, the floor closes up when you don't have confident shooters. Like, Niang is not a confident shooter. Danny Green, I've seen him airball so much. It's insane. Shake Milton.
And then he just hurt his finger recently, too, on his shooting hand, I think.
He just came back, but he's finished, bro. Yeah, I don't know what.
He got 3 rings now. He got one with San Antonio, with the Raptors, and with the Lakers, right?
He got 3. So I mean, he did well for himself. But I think he needs to go retire. All I'm hoping is that we're gonna get Bradley Beal next year, and then we can call that a day. But outside of that, I just don't. I look at Brooklyn, and I'm like, I don't see it. And then the Lakers getting blown out right now. Holy moly! But yeah, I look at Brooklyn. I just don't see it. I don't know who can stop them. And then in the West, are we still rocking with just Phoenix and Golden State, or are we gonna start giving Denver some love? Are we gonna start
the Memphis Grizzlies? We need to be in the conversation. What Ja Morant is accomplishing right now is outstanding, and the 22-year-old is elite, and I think is going to be the new upcoming face for the NBA. I mean, he definitely deserves to be in the conversation for MVP. Obviously, Joel Embiid and Nikola, the Joker, is obviously taking the reins in that race. But Ja Morant is not a force to be reckoned with, and I love to see him excel with the Memphis Grizzlies.
Dylan Brooks back for the Grizzlies.
He's back.
Yep.
But Memphis is a scary young team. You know how I said about Cincinnati all year with the Bengals? I'm like, and the whole my theme, like, they're too young to know that they're not supposed to be this good yet, right? That's how I feel about Memphis. That team is way too young to know. They don't know how good they are, and they're exceeding expectations. They're gonna the regular season. They're gonna go into the bar. They beat Golden State in the play-in game last. Remember, LA beat Golden State, and I think Golden State had another chance, and they played Memphis. And Memphis beat Golden State to get into the playoffs. Yep. So they lost in the first round, obviously, but now they have playoff experience. Now, out of the nowhere, they're the second seed in the West, or a third seed in the West. Second. They don't know how good they are. And listen, I would not want to play Memphis in the first round. Like, they're young and dumb. They're young and dumb to the point in which they're not gonna feel any kind of emotion, or they're not going to be scared of the moment. But I still look at Denver, man. Denver, bro. What's this Jokic kid, man? Jokic is
and not only that, but there's conversation about Jamal Murray starting to practice. So
he's in the G League.
An appearance in the playoffs as well.
He's in the G League. That's scary. That's scary. Michael Porter Jr. might come back too. That's scary, but I don't know. This is going to be, to me, this year, this playoff run will probably be our best playoff run that we've had since, like, before LeBron and KD time. Like, we have a competitive West and a super competitive East now. Like the 8 seed can beat the 1 seed in the East now. It's that close. So I mean, shit, Toronto is not bad. Cleveland is not bad. Chicago needs to get healthy. They're not bad. It's just Milwaukee. No one talks about Milwaukee anymore. Like, they didn't just win a championship. They're fine. Miami's the number 1 seed. No one, it's like there's a lot of good competition. So I'm looking forward to just getting there now. I just want to get to the playoffs and just see how this rolls out.
I think it's going to be a competitive playoffs. The way teams are playing right now it looks really good. The West is super deep. I mean, like you said, the Nuggets are down there, but you got to give the Joker his credit. He's a triple-double machine almost in stats, and they're playing very, very good basketball. And then Minnesota's trying to creep in there as well. Like, there's a lot of good basketball to be played still, and it's going to be fun playoffs. I just can't wait. It's just going to suck not seeing LeBron in it, most likely. That hurts.
I'm looking at the bracket right now. Let's say the playoffs started today. The play-in tournament, the Lakers be playing New Orleans in the play-in, and in Minnesota we would be playing the Clippers. I think the Lakers can beat New Orleans in a 1 game for all the marbles with Anthony Davis. Obviously, like, Anthony Davis is not going to try to lose to New Orleans. Then they would have to play Minnesota or the Clippers. The Clippers got their number, so I don't know about that. And in Minnesota, they're young, so that was tough.
Yeah, for sure. Looking at this bracket right now, I think the Lakers are it's going to be tough if they stay in that 9th position. I think they need to do their best to try to slide in that number 8, but I don't think so with the Clippers being ahead 7 games. At this point, I think it's pretty locked in that they're going to stay at number 9, but the Pelicans just beat the Lakers not too long ago. So I really wouldn't count out Brandon Ingram right now, because he's been on a rise.
Let me get AD back, and then we can talk. At least somebody who's better than. But they got this dude I never heard of playing center now with cornrows and stuff. I'm like, who is it? Like, they got randos playing. So at least let me get a healthy AD. And let's see what we got. Let's see what's going to happen. But and then Knick fan. You guys had a little streak. Y'all think y'all can get into the play-in?
What talk to me for, man? I mean, we beat the Clippers. That was
yeah, they did.
I got no jabs for that. I mean, I was like, we won 3 games, and then
Memphis happened.
Yeah. Hey, you know what's funny is we were up on Memphis, and at the end, I think we were up like 4 on them, and then entered John Morant to just silence everything.
John Morant's entered the chat.
They're a headache, man, and report they want to keep Tibbs. Like, I don't really care. I don't care, but I think at the end of the day, like, it's not a good move. Like, it's running your players' knees into the ground.
Yeah.
Dolan, that's the move. Get rid of Dolan, and there's a chance.
Dolan ain't going nowhere, bro. Like, I've been saying it for the last 10 years, man. Like, get rid of Dolan. As soon as they escorted Charles Oakley out the garden, I was like, he got to go. He got to go.
Side note, I listened to Charles Oakley today. Charles Oakley is crazy. Like, he's a crazy ass dude. I want to go read his book, but like, he was on the Shannon Sharp's podcast, and he fights everybody. He slapped the shit out of Charles Barkley. He said he wants to fight Shaq. He said he got into brawls in college. Like, he just wants to fight. I'm like, they said if he wants to do a celebrity boxing match, he was like, who would you box? He said, I would definitely box Shaq or Charles Barkley. Like, he wants to fight. That's all he wants to do.
Wow.
And the name of his book is called The Last Enforcer, because there's no more enforcers in the NBA anymore. So it's true. He is the last enforcer. But yeah, he's a raw dude. But yeah, when you kick out a legend like that, come on now. Come on now.
It rubbed me the wrong way, man. Yeah. It really did. So let's touch on baseball real quick. All I want to say about baseball is it's back.
It's back, baby. Go Tampa Bay Rays. Let's go.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting offseason. I guess we'll get into all the signings and everything on the next show. Since
They just had a really big. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. They had a really big injury that was that surfaced in the media yesterday. I think it was the Pirates.
Yeah, Tatis.
Yeah, Tatis.
The Padres.
The Padres. So that was a big blow, because I know that he is a young lethal talent that's been on the uprise, and it's unfortunate that he got just signed to a long-term deal, if I'm not mistaken, and now he's probably going to be out for the majority of the season.
The cheapest long-term deal I've ever seen anybody take. Good for you, I guess. But he's becoming Mr. Glass to me. Like I don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to poo-poo on Tatis. I love his game. I love everything about him, but he's getting hurt all the time now, and that's unfortunate. So big news is Freddie Freeman. Where's he gonna sign?
Tampa. Bring him on down. Hey, Tampa. Listen, the Rays need to start spending money. So listen, hey, I'll try. First of all, y'all think they should move to Ybor? You think that should happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would like it to happen. I don't know. I just think that Tampa deserves it at this point. Tampa Bay, like, come on down. Like, nobody really wants to travel all the way to see Petersburg for a game.
I used to say the same thing, right? But lately, I find myself going to St. Pete a lot. I'm actually tired of Tampa. I love St. Pete.
What's the man?
St. Pete is beautiful.
I feel like they deserve to have a baseball team in St. Pete. It's just, it sucks for the Rays. Like, the Rays need to be in Tampa, but I've fallen in love with St. Pete so much. I'm like, screw it, whatever. Like, I'll drive to St. Pete. I live right next to Gandy Bridge. That's easy for me.
Nice.
Yeah, bring them on over, man. But I mean, I don't want to stick on baseball too long because we're going really long on this show. Free agency, we'll discuss it on the next episode. A lot of the rule changes. The DH is back, which is going to be great. I really enjoy that. I hate seeing pitchers have to go up there and hit. I know it's a baseball and boxing, like I always say, is just one of those sports that never wants to change its ways, but the universal DH should just be applied to both.
It's just easier that way.
You don't do that in college. You don't do it in high school. You don't do it in the minors or in little league. So just make it universal. It makes it easier for everybody.
Yeah.
Your pitchers pitch. They don't get hit. That's the last thing you want is your pitcher going up there and then throwing a 98-mile fastball right at him. Like, you don't want that shit.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that again, and Yankees making puzzling moves. That's all I can say.
And shout out to
I've heard that they've had a couple big signings in the past couple days. So questionable moves.
Y'all kept what's his name? Rizzo.
They signed Rizzo because Freddie Freeman called and said, "I'm not coming to New York." So that's why they signed Rizzo at 11:30 at night on a Tuesday. So, but the Yankees trade Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela, which that one hurts most. Yeah. To the Twins for Josh Donaldson, a catching prospect, and who's the other guy? Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. So we got one of the top 3 defensive shortstops, which there was nothing wrong with Urshela in my books. And then we get Josh Donaldson, which all that means to me is more strikeouts. So
the Phillies got Kyle Schwarber. That's a bat. I love Kyle Schwarber. He's a fantastic home run hitter. He might bat like 268 next year. That's my prediction. We got Brad Hand because we know we needed some bullpen help, and then we got Familia as well. So we make small moves, small baby moves, but nothing like, we're not gonna be able to keep up with Atlanta again. And here we are, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited. That baseball's back. We'll dive deep into it next week, and I'll probably be wearing my Philly shirt then, and I'll be all festive. I'm going to opening day. Well, not opening day, home opener for the Rays. So I look forward to that. That's all I got on baseball.
We'll touch more on it. If you read KK's book, I think it's chapter 13, he allows me to speak about baseball.
I skipped chapter 13. There's no chapter 13. I go from 12 to 14, so there's no chapter 13.
The lies and the lying liars that tell them. Get it on Amazon. It's there for you. All right. This is what I've been waiting for. Fun segment. 2 truths and a lie. We can call it 2 roots and a lie, whatever you want to call it. We get to grill you. I made the questions. We're going to start with the Dallas Cowboys. You got to pick which one is the lie out of all 3 statements. Okay?
Side note, I haven't looked at these questions yet, so I might participate. I'll see
okay.
How I feel.
All right. Tom Landry is the longest tenured Cowboy head coach. Troy Aikman is the all-time leading in passing yards for the Cowboys. And the Cowboys are 5 for 5 in Super Bowl appearances. Which one is the lie?
Which one is the lie?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say the last one, 5 for 5 in Super Bowl appearances.
That is,
KK.
I agree. I know that's the answer. I know they've lost.
They're 5 for 5 in Super Bowl appearances.
That's a damn lie. They didn't lose to the Steelers a couple times.
Yes.
According to Wikipedia, it said 5 for 5, so I guess we're wrong on that one there.
All right. So was it the Troy Aikman?
5 for 5. They said they were 5 for 5 from the Super Bowl.
Is it not? Is what's his name? Is Tony Romo the all-time leading in passing yards for the
That's the one that's.
Is it Tony Romo?
Oh, it was Tony Romo.
Tony Romo is the
I know
leader.
that's the answer. I know that Tony Romo is the all-time leader, but I don't think they're 5 for 5 though.
Look it up.
Let me ask my
ask your assistant.
My assistant.
I put it on Wikipedia.
Holy moly.
5 for 5.
5 for 5.
They are no damn way.
I don't fact check.
No. The franchise has made it to the Super Bowl 8 times and they've won 5. They're not 5 for 5. Jeez. So
Wikipedia, you did it again.
This is one truth and 2 lies.
Oh, there we go. So you're both right there.
This is
right.
Wow.
Let's
go.
It
says Dallas Cowboys have played in 8 total Super Bowls in their history, winning 5 of the 8. Yeah.
That's the question I asked, and it gave me 5 for 5. So
where do you even see that? Oh,
I don't know, bro.
Disappointed. I am disappointed in your fact checking.
Hey man, I had to make these like 20 minutes before the show, so
on the fly.
Credit on that.
Don't
exactly. All right, let's hit on your boy Tyronn Lue now. Okay. Right. Lue is from Mexico, Missouri.
True.
Was selected in the first round by the Los Angeles Lakers. His number 10 is retired by Nebraska.
That's true.
So which one is the false one?
The second one.
That is correct.
Yes.
Was he undrafted?
No, he was drafted, but by the Denver Nuggets. Then traded for who we talked about last week. So I made that one apparent, Mr. Nick Van Exel.
Van Exel, that's my boy. Nick Van Exel was my dog.
All right, Martin Gramatica now. Let's put Martin on the spot. From Buenos Aires, Argentina. Played in the regular season for the New England Patriots. Has a younger brother named Bill, who was also an NFL kicker.
The last one's true. And the first one, I believe, is true. I can't remember the city name of what city in Argentina, but I think the second one was a lie. That
is a lie. He was on the
Dallas Cowboys. He played for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, he was on the not on the regular season roster. He was just an invitee, but didn't make the starting team.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes.
And I also played with Bill softball one time. I thought it was Martin. I was like, that looks like Martin Gramatica. And my buddy was like, that's Bill, his brother. I was like, oh shit.
They all look the same, all 3 of them. Bill, Santiago, and Martin, they all look the same.
The funny thing is, like, he was playing with us, and my friend was like, yo, just don't make fun of him when he jumps up and down because he has traumatization of when he broke his ankle.
No, it was his knee. I think he tore his ACL celebrating.
That's what happened, yeah.
Yeah.
But great kicker at USF, though, so not mad at that.
Sure.
I mean, real quick. So we used to do this thing with A-Rod where it called Where Did He Go to College? And it's time for another edition of Where Did He Go to College really quickly. Alex Rodriguez, keeping you on your toes. It's been a few weeks. I'm giving you only 2 players today. Are you ready, Alex Rodriguez?
Man, all right.
First player. Where did Tom Gugliotta go to college?
North Carolina State.
Good job. Okay, look at him go. He's on it. He's putting it on today. Last one. Cherokee Parks. Where did he go to college?
Duke.
Let's go.
Hey.
Still got it.
Nice.
Googs is relevant, but Cherokee Parks is not. But I just remember that one. So
yeah.
All right. How about one more? I'll give you one more. Matt Harpering.
Oh,
yes.
Georgia Tech.
There we go. Still got it. All right, guys. A-Rod still got it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I like to come out of retirement sometimes, but I still got it. So
I do have to count on you.
Thank you. Ruth, pleasure every time. Plug yourself. Tell everybody what they need to know about you.
Yes. Make sure to be following my Instagram page and Twitter page with Beauty in the Cleats, Beauty_Cleats. I'll be putting a lot of content out there really soon. Going to be revamping a podcast and releasing it through Beauty and the Cleats Network. Also follow the NSPN Tampa Bay Facebook page. We have a lot of content that's going to be pushing out to that page as well. I'll be covering the Bucks for the NSPN next season. Once again, with the GOAT coming back, you guys are going to want to tune in. Follow me on Instagram, Ruth_the_truth with the number 1 at the end. I'll give you a follow back. I like to go live and do some funny skits. So if you guys enjoy some sports with a little comedic spin, make sure to give me a follow. And I'm pretty active on Twitter as well. So give me a follow at Ruth the Truth with 3 H's at the end. And yeah, thank you so much again for having me on the Fair Weather podcast. It was a great time.
Always a pleasure.
And I'm 3 for 3, A-Rod, on those, just because Wikipedia. Yeah, 3 for 3.
You are 3 for 3. You did.
Both of y'all were 3 for 3 today. I'm so proud of you guys.
Hey, I'm happy I could shine when I needed to shine. As for us, you can find us on Twitter at fair_weather_pod, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the Fair Weather Podcast, where we subscribe to podcasts. That's where we are as well. KK, words.
Razor Ramon, RIP. He was one of the wrestlers I looked up to when I was growing up, because I always cheer for the bad guy, because I feel like the bad guy always has a reason to be the bad guy. Nobody just wakes up and wants to be the bad guy. So Razor Ramon was somebody I looked up to. That's why I always have a toothpick in my mouth and one in my ear. I know it's weird, but yeah, Razor Ramon was somebody I looked up to. Happy 316 day. Shout out to my dog Stone Cold Steve Austin, my favorite wrestler of all time. Also, Ruth, what's up with the TikTok? Are we gonna do this TikTok or not?
Man, I've been trying to figure that stuff out, but I'm waiting for you to sign us up for those classes for us to learn.
I've been looking. I can't find how much the tuition is. I don't know what's going on.
The TikTok class.
We gotta get with Sammy. Sammy's already in it deep with Townie, so we gotta see how they are on this.
All right, I'm gonna take lessons from him. All right, y'all. Peace.